Sai Ram. Welcome to Science class. 6th standard state syllabus. Chapter name is The Living Organisms, Characteristics and Habitat. For our better understanding, this chapter is made into 3 parts. In today's class, we are going to study part 2, that is terrestrial and aquatic habitat. Before going to the today's session, first we will see the answers for the previous home assignment. First question is, what is habitat? The surroundings where plants and animals live is called habitat. Second question, list out the biotic and abiotic components of habitat. Biotic components, all the living components, that is plants and animals. Abiotic components are non-living components, rock, soil, air and water. Third question is, why the camels have long legs and padded feet? Camels have long legs and padded feet to protect from the heat of the sand. Now we will see the key points of the previous class. Organisms are living creatures. There are different kinds of living organisms present in different locations. The surroundings where plants and animals live is called habitat. Several kinds of plants and animals live in same habitat. The presence of specific features and habits enables the organisms to live in a particular habitat is called adaptation. Fish adapted to live in water. Camel adapted to live in deserts. Biotic components depend on abiotic components. Now in today's class, we are going to study about a journey through different habitat. Already we have studied about what is habitat, what is adaptation, and now we will see again in that different habitats, we will study in detail about that. The organisms which live on land are called terrestrial habitat, means the habitat in which the organisms lives on land. Again in that example, deserts, mountain regions, grasslands. Now we will see one after the other. First is deserts. There are desert animals like rats and snakes do not have long legs that of camel. Camel, in the previous class we have studied that camels have long legs and this adaptation helps in protection from the heat of the sand. But there are different animals also lives in desert like rats and snakes. How they are going to protect from the heat of the sand? They stay in burrows deep in the soil, deep in the sand. These animals come out only during the night when it is cooler. See how the rats and the snakes lives in burrows and they will come out during night, because during the daytime there will be very hot in deserts. In desert plants, leaves are either absent, small, or they are in the form of spines. These are the adaptations of the desert plants. Why the leaves are reduced in size? Because it helps in reducing loss of water through leaves by the process of transpiration. If the leaf surface is large like this, there will be a lot of water coming out from the leaves through stomata, and the chance of loss of water will be more. So, the plants which are grown in desert, they adopted like spines. The leaves are reduced to spines and very small, sometimes leaves are absent also. The best example for the desert plant is cactus. In cactus, leaf-like structures you are observing is nothing but the stem. Photosynthesis is carried out by that stem. See here, this is cactus, and what you are observing, the leaf-like structures, these are actually not the leaves. They are stem, and the stem performs the photosynthesis process, and the stem is covered with a thick waxy layer. The stem, upon the stem there is a waxy layer. What is the function of this waxy layer? That helps in reducing the loss of water from the outer surface of that stem. That helps in retaining the water in the plant itself. Most desert plants have roots go deep into the soil for absorbing water, because in the desert amount of water availability is very less. It has to go deep inside. Hence the roots are going deep inside the soil to absorb more amount of water. Those are some adaptations of plants and animals which live in desert. Now the next is mountain regions. How the climate will be in mountain regions? You all know about that. Example, Himalayas. Himalayas is one of the example for mountain regions. There, these habitats are normally very cold and windy. In some areas, snowfall may take place in winter. And now we will see how the trees are adopted in this region. The trees are cone shaped. The shape of the trees is just like a cone and have sloping branches. They have sloping branches. See, the trees will be like this. They are cone shaped and the sloping branches, and they have needle-like leaves. Observe here, the trees are cone shaped and you can see needle-like leaves and sloping branches. What is the function of this? Why they are adopted like this? Because in the mountain regions there will be snow during winter. So this helps the rainwater and snow to slide off easily. and there could be trees with different shapes, and they may have different adaptations to survive in those mountain regions. And we have seen about the plants, how they are adapted in mountain regions. Now we will move on to the animals, how they are adapted to this climate. They have thick skin or fur to protect them from cold. Example, yak. Yak have long hair to keep them warm. Observe the picture. See the long hair upon the skin of this yak, which is protecting it from the extreme cold conditions in the mountain regions. Another example, the animal which lives in mountain regions is snow leopard. It has thick fur on its body, including feet and toes. This protects it from cold when it walks. Observe this leopard picture. It has thick fur on its body. See the feet, even on the feet as well as on the toes also. This helps them to walk easily in that cold regions even when it is snowfall is also there. And the mountain goat has strong hooves for running up the rocky slopes of the mountains. As we go up in the mountains, there will be different kinds of adaptations. See, this is the mountain goat. Observe the hooves near that legs. These are the strong hooves, so that with the help of that hooves, it can easily run up the rocky slopes in the mountain regions. Next is grasslands. There are different kinds of animals live in this habitat. Example, lion, deer. Now we will see the adaptations of lion. Lion is a strong animal. It can hunt and kill animals like deer. It is light brown in color and helps it to hide in dry grasslands when it hunts for prey, because this body color is matching with the background, that is the dry grassland, and the other animals, they doesn't know that the lion is hiding behind this dry grasslands because the color is matching. The eyes in front of the face gives idea about the location of the prey while hunting. The lion has long claws in their front legs, helps to catch the prey. See, lion has eyes in front of the head, which helps to see where is the prey. And it has claws, long claws in the front legs, which helps them to catch the prey. And it has the brown color skin, which matches with the dry grasslands. Next, we will see adaptations of deer. It has strong teeth for chewing hard plant stems. As deer is a herbivore, its main food is plants. So, it has strong teeth. It has long ears to hear the movements of predators. The eyes on the side of its head allow it to look in all directions for danger. The speed of the deer helps them to run away from predator. You all know deer will run very fast because it has to protect itself from the predator. So it runs very fast. There are many other features of animals and plants help them to survive in their habitat. See how the deer is. It has long ears so it can hear the movements of the predator, and it has the eyes not in the front. See, they are in the lateral sides so that 360 degrees it can observe around it predator. Where the predator is, it can recognize and it will run fast also, so that it has to protect from predator. These are the some adaptations of deer. Next is aquatic habitat. Till now what we have studied is terrestrial habitat. Next is aquatic habitat. What are aquatic habitats? The habitat wherein the organisms live in water are called aquatic habitat. Example, oceans. First, we will see what are the adaptations of the plants and animals which live in oceans. Fish and many other sea animals have streamlined body for easy movement. Already I have shown what is meant by the streamlined body, and just a recap of that. The ends are tapering and the middle is bulged, and this helps in easy movement of the organisms which are living in the water. Sea animals like squid and octopus, they do not have streamlined body. As such, the shape of that body is not streamlined. But when they move in water, they make their body shape as streamlined. And they have gills to use dissolved oxygen in water. In the part 1 also, I explained clearly about the gills and the gill slits, how the exchange of gases will take place in the fish. See, this is the octopus. Actually, the body shape is not a streamline, but when it is moving inside the water, it is making the shape as a streamlined body. Dolphins and whales are also seen in oceans, and these dolphins and whales do not have gills as in fish. Then how these will respire, we will see now. They breathe in air through nostrils or blowholes. These are located on the upper parts of the head. In fish, they respire with the help of gills. In dolphins and whales, they respire through nostrils. In other words, we can say it as blowholes. Dolphins and whales can stay inside the water for a long time without breathing. They come out to the surface from time to time to breathe in air. If they have gills, they can stay inside the water and they can live by the absorbing dissolved oxygen. But these animals, they doesn't have gills, they have nostrils. So they have to come out and they have to take air which is present in the atmosphere. So even this you might have seen when you go to the beach, the dolphins will be coming out, the whales will be coming out and taking in the air, and again they will go inside. This is the common thing you might have observed near the oceans. And in the same way, the dolphins will survive. See how the dolphin is coming out of the sea. They can live for a long time inside the water without breathing, but still it requires oxygen. No, that's why it will come out from time to time, and they will take in oxygen which is present in the air, not in the dissolved form. See how it is coming out. And the next is ponds and lakes. In aquatic plants, the plants which live in water are called aquatic plants. In aquatic plants, roots are much reduced in size, and their main function is to hold the plant in place, because there will be water currents. In order to withstand that water currents, the plant should be held in that place itself. For that purpose, the roots are reduced in size and they are fixed in that position. The stems are long, hollow and light, which are upon the water, that is which they are floating on water. They have long, hollow and light stems, because if there is less weight, they can easily float. If they are heavy, again they will submerge inside the water. The stems grow up to the surface of water. The leaves and flowers float on the surface of water. Just now I told, the leaves and the flowers, they are hollow and light in weight, they will float on the water. Some plants are submerged in water. They are deep inside the water also. Some plants have narrow, thin, ribbon-like leaves. These can bend the flowing water. Why they are adapted like this means, if they are rigid, if the water currents pass through them, there are chances of breaking that leaves. So they are adopted as thin ribbon-like leaves, so that the water can pass in between those, the gap between these two leaves. So they can bend easily without breaking. Some plants are aquatic, we have seen. Now we will see some aquatic animals. Actually, frog is an amphibian. It can live in water and it can live on the land also. Now we will see what are the adaptations when it is inside the water. They have strong back legs in leaping and catching the prey. See, if you observe, these are the back legs of the frog. Leaping means jumping. Jumping and catching the prey. Observe how nicely it is jumping with the help of its long back legs. They have webbed feet. See, observe the feet. It has the webbed feet and it helps in swimming when it lives in water. And now we will see the home assignment for this session. Why the trees are cone shaped in mountain regions. Explain why speed is important for survival in the grasslands for animals that live there. Next question. Why the leaves are reduced to spines in cactus. Hope you all have understood this topic. Read the topic carefully and answer to these questions. Thank you. Jai Sai Ram.